Hello everyone and welcome to Medi Simplified. So today we are going to talk about mucormycosis, commonly known as right now as black fungus, which is commonly seen nowadays in the patient who are recovering from COVID-19 but have some or the other immunocompromised state like diabetes. So let's talk more about it. So we are going to talk about mucormycosis and let's know what exactly mucormycosis is. So mucormycosis and COVID-19. The reason why I have chosen this topic is this mucormycosis and its relation with COVID-19. So it is called as black fungus. So black fungus is caused by a fungus named mucor, which is found on the wet surfaces. And currently it is seen in the patients who had diabetes mellitus and COVID together, or in the patient who had diabetes mellitus and are recovered from COVID. The body is in an immunocompromised state, and that's why they are getting infected very rapidly. So why it is a concern right now? One is this, that it is occurring in the patient of diabetes, and second is it is not a new disease, but cases is increasing right now in the COVID patients because of two things. One is the use of steroids in these patients, and the other medications which are used in COVID-19. They are very powerful medicines, so they are lowering the immunity of the patient, right? So two things: one is steroid, another is the other medicine. So steroid, what it does, it elevates the sugar level, and some medicines which are used in COVID-19, they suppresses the patient's immunity. So these two are the reason why it is occurring more now, or it will occur more in the patient of COVID-19 if the people are start getting infected due, by this black fungus. And what is the main reason or concern if the patient is getting this black fungus disease? First is, I have told everything. The next thing, which is very important, the cost of the medicine of one injection of the amphotericin B, which is used in the treatment of this black fungus disease, is costing around 6 to 8 thousand per day, one injection, right? And similarly, you need to take 21 injection, so you can calculate the huge amount. It will be around 1,68,000 or something. And it is very good that the state where these patients are seen recently, that is the Maharashtra, the state government has said that they will provide the free treatment to these patients. So hope the central and other state also do the same. So now talking about mucormycosis as a medical student, or it is for a medico, what we are going to talk in further. And a few things will be important if all the non-medicals also see this video. So first is mucormycosis. It is a serious but rare fungal disease or infection caused by a group of fungus or molds called as mucormycetes. Next, it affects mainly the people who have health problem or taking some medicines which lowers the body's ability to fight with the germs and sickness. And the last point in the slide is that it most commonly affects the sinuses and the brain, right? Sinuses or the lungs after inhaling the fungal spores from the air, right? It can also occur in the skin if there is a cut in the skin or a burn or any other kind of skin injury. So it can occur also in the GIT, and it can also go to the brain. So what are those variants? That also I will tell you soon. So this was the brief idea about the mucormycosis. It is a fungal infection caused by a mold called mycetes, mucormycetes, and it usually occurs in the people who have low immunity. It is usually patient inhales the fungal spore and get infected. So it is also common in the, it can also occur in the normal person, but in the normal person whose immunity is strong, he will not get affected by this disease very rapidly, or the way the immunocompromised patients are getting affected right now. So types of fungi that causes this mucormycosis commonly, they are Rhizopus and Mucor species. And these are the few other examples of this mucormycosis causing fungi. Now, symptoms of mucormycosis. The symptom of mucormycosis totally depends upon the type of mucormycosis, or I'll say where the fungus is affecting the body or growing in the body. So there are few types of mucormycosis. One is rhinocerebral, another one is GIT, which is occurring in the newborn, which occurs in the newborns, and then we have the cutaneous one, which is occurring on the skins, and another is pulmonary, which is occurring in the lungs, and one is disseminated, which spreads in the whole body through the bloodstream. So let's talk one by one and the symptoms occurring in those type of mucormycosis. So first we will talk about the rhinocerebral mucormycosis, which is right now commonly seen in the patients of COVID-19 or recovered from the COVID-19. So rhinocerebral, that is sinus, rhino means sinus and cerebral means part of brain. So rhinocerebral mucormycosis is an infection in the sinuses that can spread till the brain. So this is commonly occurring in the patients of COVID-19, if I'm not wrong. So this form of mucormycosis is common in the people with uncontrolled diabetes or in the people who had kidney transplantation. And now it is seen in the patient of COVID-19. This is somewhat it looks like. You can see here the case of rhinocerebral mucormycosis, how it looks. This was rhinocerebral mucormycosis, what it is exactly. Now the symptoms which occurs in rhinocerebral mucormycosis, right? First is one-sided facial swelling. Then the patient will complain about headache, nasal or sinus congestion, black lesion on nasal bridge or upper inside of the mouth. Right now I cannot show you, and it quickly becomes more severe within 2 or 3 days, and the patient will also complain about the fever. So now going further, we'll talk about the pulmonary mucormycosis. It is the most common type of mucormycosis in the people with cancer and in the people who have had an organ transplant or stem cell transplant. So this is about pulmonary mucormycosis. So the pulmonary mucormycosis is occurring commonly in the cancer patient, whereas the rhinocerebral was occurring in the diabetic patient. Now what else? The symptoms of this type. So the symptoms are fever, which is common with the rhinocerebral. It is cough, and there the patient was complaining about the nasal or sinus congestion. Chest pain will occur. Okay, it is going till the lungs, so chest pain can occur, and shortness of breath. Anything affecting the lungs always leads to shortness of breath or dyspnea. Mostly, not always, mostly. Now going further, we will talk about cutaneous mucormycosis. Mucormycosis occurring on the skin. So it occurs after the fungi enter the body through any cut, which I already said. Not a cut, I'll say it break in the skin. For example, after a surgery, if there is a cut remaining open, if there is a patient of burn or any other kind of skin trauma, so in this patient, the cutaneous mucormycosis can be seen. It is the most common mucormycosis among the people who do not have weakened immune system. Okay. Usually, if the patient is having good immune system, he will not be affected with mucormycosis. But the cutaneous or the skin mucormycosis can occur in the healthy patient. So it is the most common form of a mucormycosis among the people who do not have a weakened immune system. So that is very important to know. Then next is the symptoms of cutaneous mucormycosis. It can look like a blister or ulcer, and the infected area may turn black, right? Other symptoms include pain, swelling, redness, warm around the wound. So this is somewhat how mucormycosis on skin may look like. Now going further, talking about the gastrointestinal mucormycosis. So it is more common in young children than adults, especially premature and low birth weight infants, less than 1 month of age, who have had an antibiotic surgery or medication that lowers the body's ability to fight the germs and the sickness. So the GIT mucormycosis occurs usually in the young ones, not in the adults, but the young children, or also in the newborn infants who are preterm or less than 1 month of age. So symptoms of gastrointestinal mucormycosis include abdominal pain, nausea and vomiting, and gastrointestinal bleeding. So this is one of the patient of gastrointestinal mucormycosis. You can see usually it should be pink, the intestine, but the patient's intestine has turned black due to the name, that is the black fungus. So the last one is the disseminated mucormycosis. It occurs when the infection spreads through the bloodstream to affect another part of the body. The infection most commonly affects the brain, but also can affect other organs such as spleen, heart, and skin. So this is the disseminated mucormycosis. It's in this what is happening. The infection is spreading through the bloodstream. So the most commonly affected organ when the disseminated mucormycosis occur is brain, but other organs like spleen, heart, and skin can also be affected. So this was disseminated mucormycosis, and the symptoms occur in this disseminated mucormycosis typically occurs in the people who are already sick from other medical conditions. So it can be difficult to know which symptoms are related to mucormycosis. Patient with disseminated infections in the brain can develop mental status changes or coma. So this was about disseminated mucormycosis, and we have finished all the type of mucormycosis. Now going further, the common question of everyone, that is mucormycosis contagious? So the answer is no, it is not contagious. It cannot spread between two people or between people or animals. So what we can do to lower the risk of mucormycosis, it is difficult to, like, it comes through the fungal spore which we inhale, right? So it is difficult to prevent that because it is present in environment. So either you can wear a mask every time you go in a field or somewhere out of your home where fungus can be present, as there is no vaccine available for the people who have weak immune system. It is better that they do something to prevent the mucormycosis, like wearing a mask, or if they are going to any field, so they can wear a gum boots where their skin is not exposed, so that they can be prevented by the cutaneous mucormycosis, or the same thing, anything which can prevent the contact with the fungal spore can help in the prevention of this disease. Now, how it is diagnosed? So the mucormycosis is diagnosed based on medical history, symptoms we can check, physical examination if the whole throat or whole oral cavity is blackish in color, or the patient is showing something uh, something related to mucormycosis, and the lab test confirms if it is a mucormycosis. So this is how we can diagnose it. Collect a sample of the fluid from the from the respiratory system to send to the laboratory in the case of sinus or pulmonary mucormycosis. If you suspect, right? So do this thing. And you should perform a tissue biopsy of the affected tissue. CT scan of lung, sinuses, or other part of the body where the infection has occurred can help in the diagnosis of the mucormycosis infection. So whenever you suspect a site where the mucormycosis has occurred, you suspect, you should do a CT scan where you can rule out the disease, whether it is mucormycosis or something else. So what is the treatment plan of this mucormycosis? I already told in the starting of the video that it is very expensive. One injection of amphotericin B in India costs around 6,000 to 8,000 rupees. And if you sum, the treatment is around 21 days. You need to be admitted for 21 days. So it approximately 150, 160,000 can cost for a person. So how it is treated? Antifungal medicines are used, usually amphotericin B, foscarconazole, or isavuconazole. These are the three medicines used for the treatment of mucormycosis. All these three can be used IV, and foscarconazole and isavuconazole can be used orally also. So all this treatment is done for 21 days. Other medicines like fluconazole, variconazole, and kind of canines, which are antifungal, but they do not work against the fungi that causes mucormycosis. So, and in most of the cases, after this medication also, the patient of mucormycosis requires surgery to cut the infected tissue. So that is how it is treated. So thanks for watching this video, and hope this video was useful to the medicos and also the non-medicos. If you have any doubt related to this disease, there is a group on Telegram, which the link is in the description. There are many other medicos who you can discuss your doubts regarding mucormycosis, and to also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel, MediSimplified. Thank you.